guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is Saturday, July the 21st, and I do have some new subscribers, and I just want to say welcome. And if you start watching my videos at the end, you're probably not going to know what I'm talking about, because this video channel is a story of my life, so you kind of have to go back to the beginning and watch some of the early videos so that you'll get to know a little bit about Glenda Merle and where I grew up and some of the characters that I talk about. And I just want to thank you for subscribing, and I just want to welcome back all of my subs. I have a wonderful family here on YouTube, so loving and kind and thoughtful. And I just love all of you with all my heart. So we're just going to get on today with some more stories about living with an alcoholic. So y'all know that, I had divorced little Scotty and married John, and not even knowing anything about John. And after marrying him, I did find out that he liked to drink Budweiser. But I didn't think it was a big deal, I just thought he liked to drink beer. But as time went on, his drinking just progressively got worse and worse. Well, then by that time, we had bought a house in Covington, Louisiana, and we had 2 children, 2 little boys. So, and I was just barely, when I did work, I was barely making minimum wage. Now, at the time that I'm talking about is about in 1980. My son Jeremy, who is now deceased, he was born February the 18th, 1978. And I was working. I had a job as an executive secretary at the shipyard there in Madisonville, Louisiana, called Equitable Shipyards. But by the time Jeremy was about 7 months old, it had just gotten to be too difficult for me, to work. Back then, as far as I know, there weren't any Pampers. I was using cloth diapers, and I remember being up until 11 or 12 o'clock at night, folding the cloth diapers, and I was breastfeeding Jeremy. So I just went ahead and gave my notice and quit that job. At that time, John, he was drinking every day, coming home drunk a lot, but he had a good job, and that was at a scrapyard there in Covington, Louisiana, called P&W Industries, and he did, sell scrap metal. I don't understand all the ins and outs of it, but there's money to be had in scrap metal. So here's a picture of John and Jeremy in front of, that's our little ranch-style house there in Covington. And that is a picture of John and Jeremy. And this is a picture of Glenda Merle. I had on the little dress that I had bought there and my red heels. Y'all, I was so skinny. I was about a size 4. I mean, I had to eat ice cream every night just to be able to hold my clothes on me, so I wouldn't have to go and buy, a 2 or a 0. But our breastfeeding will really get the weight off of you, let me tell you. And here's a picture of my precious little Jeremy. Oh, I love that boy so much. And remember, I told y'all that he came, I was in the bedroom asleep one Saturday morning, and he came walking in there. He was 6 months old. Here's a picture of him. I was shocked, how did this baby get out of his crib? So I put him back in the crib and ran in there with my camera, and there he did it again, crawling out of his crib, 6 months old, those little short legs. But I did want to tell you another story about John. He was very irresponsible, as I'm sure any of y'all who have had a husband or wife alcoholic will know. But I had given him the check for the mortgage, which was only $230, back then. I had given him the check and the envelope with a stamp on it to drop off at the post office. Well, 2 or 3 weeks later, I get this late notice in the mail that the mortgage wasn't paid for that month. He had torn that check up and thrown it away, and went and withdrew the money out of the bank and used it for his alcohol and for his beer and his cigarettes. Y'all, he did some of the most asinine things, and it just got on my nerves so bad. But I just felt like I was stuck. I mean, I was only, by then I had quit the job. and I couldn't, even if I was working, I couldn't make much more than $1.85 or $2 an hour. And Dort and Lamar had sure made it plain that I was not welcome back home. So I was really stuck. So I just tried, to make the best of it that I could. I was a very good mother. I was a good wife. And I just tried to keep the home as stable as I possibly could. Which I was in shock one day when I was pushing Jeremy in the stroller. Jason was riding his little bicycle behind me, and we were walking down Slimmer Road. Well, at the end of Slimmer Road, along the main highway there, I think it's Highway 190, is the service road that would come back into Kings Forest subdivision and the trailer park there where the axe murderer lived, and then into Slimmer Road. So we had gotten to where Slimmer Road connected with the service road, and there comes John L Sullivan riding down the road in this brand new car. It was a little ass Dodge Aries. That was the ugliest thing. And he just looked at me like he didn't even know who I was and just kept on going by. Oh, he knew he was in trouble. Y'all, he finally came home drunk, riding in this old silver ass Dodge. By the way, that's Darren, Dale's son. That's Jason, and that's little Jeremy, and that's Glenda Merle. He came home in that old Dodge Aries. I could have killed him. He just went and bought that brand new car, traded in the Buick Regal now, and didn't even tell me that he was going to do it. Oh, I was so mad at him. And, of course, I was the one that paid all the bills, so I just didn't pay it. So after about 2 or 3 months, the bank kept calling me saying, your payment is late, your payment is late. I said, come get it. They kept threatening to repossess it. I said, just come on and get it. I hate this old ugly ass Dodge. So they did. They came and repossessed it. So I know these stories are kind of corny, but I do appreciate y'all listening, and it does help me to get all this off my chest, even though it's been 40 years. And give me a thumbs up if you feel like it, and just keep on coming back. Bye now.